Permission 5.
Hi, Eric. Hi, Root Peepers. So, just to clarify, we are going to be spoiling stuff. If you have not read this Mortal Coil and you plan on reading it, you shouldn't probably watch. I have like a whole bunch of points that I wrote down for us to talk about. Hi, Kristen. And hi, Bethany. But yeah, we're basically going to be just doing a big discussion on this book.
Yeah.
You yelled at me.
Other thing.
Hi, Birdie Reads.
Turn off stupid.
I don't usually do this by myself, guys, so I'm sorry, I'm learning here.
On the stupid button on the
Right, got it.
Adam.
So it's actually really cool. Like, I don't know if you saw Kivox's tweet, but the author actually liked our tweet. We finished it an hour ago. You guys are better than me. Like, I finished it, I think, before December even hit. So I had to really kind of refresh my memory this morning on the stuff because I forget a lot. And in fact, I couldn't even remember the main character's real, like, first name. I was like, all right, I probably should research this a little bit. But basically, I don't know if we should talk about this before we start. I'll mention it, I guess. I have a poll going, so if you go up here and you see like a little eye, you should be able to do the poll. Is that how it works?
Yeah.
So the 4 books that I chose for next month, I couldn't narrow it down to 3, are Scythe, The Summer That Melted Everything, An Enchantment of Ravens, and Nixia. So they're 4 like completely different books, but I kind of wanted to like let you guys know that I do listen to your suggestions, and these are all books that I plan on reading, but some people did suggest some of these to me. But the Nixia is basically a sci-fi kind of space adventure. I hear really, really good things about this book. Enchantment of Ravens, I'm sure like most of you guys have heard about, but I've heard kind of iffy things about it. It's so short, but I don't know. I've heard very mixed things, so I want to check it out and see if I like it. I did just read The Cruel Prince by Holly Black, so I did just read like a fairy novel. That's that. This book, I really, really, really want to read this book. It's basically about a little kid, like a 13-year-old, that shows up in this town in Ohio, and he claims that he's the devil. And along with him, like right after he comes to the town, this huge heat wave comes, and all this crazy stuff starts happening because of this heat wave. But then people start thinking maybe this little kid really is the devil, and I don't know. I hear like this book is really good and it sounds really interesting, so I want to check it out. And then this one you guys have probably already heard of, about like these sides that have to protect like one human, and I don't know much about it, but there's another one coming out soon, so I want to check it out. Those are the 4 books that you can vote on in the poll for next month's read along book club book. What did I miss? Hey there, Uncle, it's me. What?
You don't have to read. Comment me out loud.
I know.
So you know.
All right, so just so I know where you guys stand, I wanted to first find out like what you guys rated this book 1 out of 5. If you have my Goodreads, if you follow me on Goodreads, you'll know that I already gave this a 4 out of 5. I might lower it to a 3.5 out of 5 because the longer I sit on books and how much of an impact they have on me long term kind of tends to change my rating. So I think I'm changing it to a 3.5 out of 5 instead of a 4 after going through all my notes that I wrote. But let me know what you guys think. I just kind of want to know, like, overall what you guys thought of the book. Found me. 4 stars. Ow. Ow, you're... Oh yeah, my husband's so nice. Sometimes he brought me tea.
Times.
Yeah,
Use that spoon.
that's my only spoon.
No, just grab it with that, you silly. Like the simplest
I rarely
thing.
have any left.
Yeah.
You can measure it that way.
You were literally just about to. How are you gonna measure it with a regular spoon? Be careful. Spill it all over your books. I could see you doing that right now. I could just see. You want me to do it for you?
OMG! No,
Hold
I got
on.
this. I got this.
I got it. I'm gonna spill it.
It's hot.
I told you.
It looks like pretty much everyone's giving it a 4 stars, or like the people that responded. I do wish Goodreads would let you break down stuff. I agree, because like not everything is so like I feel like 5 stars isn't enough, and it really should be either 10 or you should allow people to at least give half stars. Because I agree that I think it's about a 3.5 out of 4. I did give it a solid 4 immediately after reading it, and sometimes I'll write like a quick, even if I'm not gonna write a full out like review, I'll write in the review section, like if I'm breaking it down, like a 3.5, but whatever. I actually think that this cover is really awesome for this book, and unless you know the story, like you're not gonna know what this cover means. It's kind of gross, but awesome. Go get some tea, Birdie. I can't drink this, it's too darn hot. He brought up this like steaming thing. So yeah. First thing I wrote to talk about is what you guys feel about the characters. There's not an overabundance of characters in this book. You basically have the main chick, Kat, and you have the main guy, Cole. Other than that, you do have some side characters that have some bearance, but like I don't even think I remember their names. I just remember their roles in the story. But the main character kind of got on my nerves, to be honest. Like, she's too much of a martyr for me, like, and that kind of bugs me in books. There's certain things in books that bug me. And one thing that bugs me is when people are martyrs and like they have to die for a cause, and like this cause, it can't happen unless you die for it, and that seems to happen at least a couple of times in this book. And then, which I'll go into detail later, but also she just like seemed kind of silly to me. I don't know. Cole was an alright character. That just like bonked her head. I know, when you find out what the cover is, it's kind of like gross but awesome at the same time. Oh, you didn't think about the meaning of the cover? It's gross. It is, but it's cool. Like, it's basically if you guys have read it but you didn't realize what it was, it's like the 3rd stage of the virus, when the people blow up and like their remains spread around and then give you the virus. It's kind of gross. But yeah, and let me know like what you guys think about the main character. I thought the martyr thing was a little over the top. Like, she was too all about like doing things for like the greater good and fighting evil, and I don't know, like I'm okay with main characters kind of being that way, but I feel like there's always a solution beyond getting yourself killed for a cause. Like in books, like I like when you come to a clever conclusion that doesn't end with you being killed for something. Other than that, Cole was an okay character, I guess. Like, I thought that their like relationship with like they had some awkward romance type scenes. Even though there really wasn't any romance in here, there were some just awkward interactions between the two of them. So it was kind of like, eh. I wrote awkward sexual attention or tension between them. And I feel like their connection like did not give me like any feels at all, like their relationship. Yeah, I agree, Kristen. Like, she was way too loyal to her dad for like a guy that essentially like left her. And then when he turns out not to even be her dad, I was kind of like, all right, but at the same time, she's not supposed to remember this, but I don't know. Really, the reason for having to hurry and just kill yourself. Yeah, like that, I totally agree. And like, that's just like me and books across the board. Like, when stories don't try to find a better solution, it all comes down to communication, also. Kind of like, why didn't this main character explain to these people what's going to happen if she does this and she's going to die? Like, they could all kind of like mesh their brains together and come up with a better solution. Like, if you're talking about the scene where she has to go into that tank thing and give her arm information over to plan the vaccine, like, there had to be a better way. And if that wasn't the if there wasn't a better way and that was the only way, then you guys could have all come up with that solution together. Like, I like in stories more so when people communicate and get together and talk things out instead of one person deciding they know what's best and they're gonna do it by themselves and sacrifice themselves. Yes, communication. Yeah, like, why in young adult especially there is never communication ever, and it drives me crazy. Like, that is one trope that just I can't do. The virus is getting worse, but not even look for some other option seems odd. Yeah, like, I agree. So that part of it was a little ridiculous in my eyes. Um, as far as the plot twist, I feel like there were so many plot twists at the end. Like, I would say about 100 pages before the end, it seemed like plot twist after plot twist after plot twist. And I almost feel like there were too many. Where it's like, what's real, what's not real? Like, is everything gonna be a plot twist? And some of them were really cool. Like the puppet thing at the end, I thought was super cool. Like, I did not see that one coming. But I did also think that her dad was not dead. Like, I have this thing when I read books, and if a body is not found and if the person doesn't physically see the other person dead, they're not dead. Like, people always come back in books. If you don't physically see them dead and feel their cold body, the person's not dead. And the fact that really no one in the lab did and the main character didn't see her dad actually dead, like, I had a feeling that he wasn't, but I also didn't think that at the end it was going to be a puppet. I thought that was a really cool twist. Yeah, the end was like a roller coaster. There was so much just up and down. Everything was changing, and like, I can't even remember all the plot twists. She's Junbei, right? I mean, that's the major one. I understand, you know, she's just playing with a toy. She's got something in her mouth. My cats like tend to make a weird meowing noise when they have like toys. Hi Adrian. So, okay, her being Junbei was like the big plot twist, right? And then there was that he's not really her father because she's Junbei. The issue I had with that was, how come Kat as a person is not a better hacker if she's the same person as Junbei, right? Because they're supposedly the father and Junbei like worked hand in hand and side by side together in this lab for the big bad guys that I can't remember their name now. But yet Kat wasn't that great on her own. If they explain that and I just miss it, please feel free to like correct me. But I don't remember them really explaining that. Um, what other plot twist? The puppet thing. I can't remember anymore. I'm sure there's more. There was like a million of them, like right at the end, like one right after the other. Um, and I kind of got confused because they keep calling her a hacker or a coder. I mean, but to me, she is more of a hacker. Like, she goes in there and she hacks into people's DNA and she knows how to read things and kind of tweak things, but she's not really a coder per se like her father was. That kind of threw me off. I'm basically just reading like my thoughts as I was reading the book. I kind of like wrote down all my thoughts like as I was reading it. And I only kept the ones that are still kind of relevant after the fact. So going into the book also, like, I thought like the first like 50 pages were super interesting. Like I felt like the world that the author created was really good. And I felt that the world, like the development of showing you what's in the world was really good. I don't know how to say it, but um yeah, so I did like going into it, I thought the world building was done really well. Um the only thing is like later on, I'm not so sure how I felt about the explanation of everything. I'll go into in a minute. Supposedly the dad locked away her memories so she wouldn't know previous June Day life. But when the way she was shown to us, I figured she should have dug deeper into her code. Yes, but I think that's also why he gave her that hypergenesis, and that's why she didn't dig deeper into her own code. Because hypergenesis was super rare but super deadly, so if she did anything to her own code, she had like the possibility of killing herself essentially. It is just me today. I mean, Kivox is here, but
I'm here.
He's just off to the side.
I'm here.
But yeah, at first I was really confused whether she was born with hypergenesis and if she eventually the father found out a way to get over that. I'm still kind of confused about this. Like, was she born with it and then did the father create basically a way to fix her? Or did her father give her hypergenesis or made it seem like she had that so that he was masking her regular normal self and she didn't have hypergenesis so that she wouldn't go messing with her own arm and like mess with her coding. It's kind of confusing. I know he orchestrated that weird bad reaction to her trying to add a beauty code, but normally Grace mind pushing. That's true. Even she had the memory locked. There was triggers. Yeah, I agree. There should have been a few more triggers. That's a good point, and I didn't even think about it. Like going through the first 75% of the book, like you definitely should have had more triggers to her memory and kind of give the reader a little information that something like maybe if it was done away where the reader themselves wouldn't really guess that she was a different character or had like memory loss, because I really like when authors are really smart like that and they make little what do they call them? Can't think of it.
Foreshadowing.
Yes.
Boom,
They foreshadow
got him.
things. Like Harry Potter, she does it all the time. She'll give you little information throughout the books, where they won't have any significance until later on. But then as you reread the series, you'll go back in the beginning. Sirius Black's bike.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my god.
He totally forgot that in the beginning of Harry Potter, it was Sirius Black's motorcycle that Hagrid rode in on. But like little things like that, like she'll throw in little itty bitty things that like make no sense until later on. Like I really like when authors do that. Yeah, so again, you're right. They should have had memory triggers, and I didn't even think about that until you guys just said so. Now, the one thing that really, really kind of irked me while reading this was, to me, the fake science didn't make sense. And like, I love fake science in books, but it kind of has to seem real in a sense. Like, it has to, even though you know it's fake and it could never really happen, I like when fake science makes it seem like it could happen if magic existed in the world and if things existed. Like, these fake sciencey things could actually happen. But maybe it's my background and like I had what I'm like getting off topic. Maybe it's my background because I have taken courses in evolutionary genetics and things like that. But it did not make sense to me, the whole immunity thing. Am I the only one, or did people like, I feel like I wrote it down. So when you eat the flesh of a second stage victim, the virus doesn't realize it's changed hosts. And within an hour, it wraps up your good cells, or like your cells, and forms a barrier strong enough to stop the virus from burrowing in and causing you to get infected. But eating someone in the first stage will infect you too. But late in the second stage, you'll just blow up like that. I just don't understand that. Like, to me, if you eat someone in the second stage, the virus doesn't realize it changed hosts, then wouldn't it just blow you up? Like, if it's already in the second stage, like that's yes.
Question: why are you eating people? That's the first question.
I just said that's how you get immunity to this virus. Supposedly, is there's 3 stages of the virus, and you eat the person during the second stage.
Would you eat me?
No.
So you would die?
Yeah, I'll be a martyr for you.
Okay.
The immunity was too much for me. I did not like that, and I agree it didn't feel. It doesn't make sense. Like, that's not how viruses work, and that's not how things. I get it, fake science. You're making a new type of virus. I mean, we discover new types of viruses and stuff all the time, but at the same time, it does not make sense to me. I described this to 2 other people. Hi, Pentium. Pentium says hi to you.
Hey.
It's very hard to explain because it doesn't make sense. Like, if something makes sense, like, for instance, this is just throwing one out there, Mistborn series, if you guys haven't read it. You ingest metals, certain types of metals, and your body essentially burns up those metals. And if you have the power within you, you can use that to do magical things. Like, that's really cool. And it explains it. And I just explained it to you in 5 seconds and you get it. But this, I feel like you can't explain it because it doesn't make sense. Like, I don't know. If you smell them in the final stages, the wrath sets in and you aren't in control. Well, I guess that point that you just made, Kristen, is like what causes you to want to eat the person, I guess. And it's how the immunity like spreads and doesn't allow the virus to fully take over and like run through its like host source. But I don't understand, like it really just doesn't make sense, like how to me, if you eat it during the second stage and your body doesn't realize that it's changing its host, then it's just going to keep going through the stages and you're going to die. So I don't understand why it causes your cells to create a barrier from the virus. I just don't get it. That's just me. Maybe I'm dumb. Like, disgusting. Yeah, I don't see it actually happening either. And that's sad because, like, I love when authors try to create fake science, but it has to kind of make sense. And maybe this author, like, maybe it did make sense to her, but wasn't able to, like, fully convey it in a way where others could understand it. I don't know. I would assume the point of the wrath would be to help kill everyone. Seems more evil than kind. I don't know, because why would the immunity exist at all? And why would the wrath exist? Oh, the wrath. I think, I don't know. That part confuses me too. So the way the father describes the wrath, that means deep down we all want to eat each other. Dad is just twisted. Yeah, he's kind of, I don't know what to think about the dad, and I wrote that down too. Let me see. Yeah, I wrote that, like, my feelings changed a lot. I still don't know if he was trying to protect her, but he's not really her father, so why is he so attached to June Bay? Because, I mean, really, it's not his daughter, so why is he so attached to her? I don't understand. The dad's motives confuse the hell out of me. I agree. I mean, this is part of a series, supposedly, which I didn't know at first. So we will probably find out what the dad's motives are later, because now we know he's still alive somewhere. Which, I mean, who didn't really think that? I don't know. Maybe you didn't. I'm being mean, but I thought that he was alive the whole book, basically, because no one ever really saw him die. Going through what I wrote, we talked about mostly everything. I also wrote down that, like, if Kat and Junbei are the same person, then how come their personalities aren't more similar? It seems like every time, like, I get it, you wiped her memories, but wiping someone's memories isn't going to change their, like, core personality. So why is it that they're two completely different people? And, like, Kat, basically every time she hears about Junbei, like, she has a very hard time, like, connecting, and she has a very hard time, like, understanding why Junbei does what she does, and she thinks she's crazy, and she turns out to be the same person. Like, how could they be so different? The dad is kind of a huge enigma. I agree. He's honestly have some, but at the same time, putting her, and yeah, like, what is their connection? Like, why does he care about her? I mean, yeah, she's great at hacking and gene coding and stuff like that, but why take her in and remove her memories? I just, like, totally stuttered. I think the father hired Dax to make Coil. I didn't think about that. I mean, it's possible. 'Cause, I mean, he was good at what he did, but he wasn't, like, super genius. So, I mean, I never thought about that. But it could be like a diversion thing. I could see that. Like, you hired someone, like, have a sexy young dude in the way of remembering some other dude you used to love. I think it's because he may have coded her to be so much like him. I think he wanted a mini me, someone on his team. Yeah, I mean, that, I mean, could be. Did he actually code Junbei on top of I'm sure he did. I mean, think about it. That's a good point, because he did, like, enter the virus into her. He probably coded all sorts of crap into her. He didn't know about it, because, I mean, he could have changed her personality, I suppose. But isn't that one of the things that you're not able to change his personality, or am I wrong? There were too many rules. Oh, and I got no Splenda. Me. Can you give me a straw?
RB.
Trying to figure out why he took her away from the base. Why erase her memory so bad about June. Oh, what was so bad? I don't remember. I read it, like, almost a month ago now, but didn't Junbei leave the base on her own? So, what was the name of that base? I can't even remember now. Homestake. So didn't she create that crazy code that allowed all the doors to open, and she left on her own? I think. And maybe the father tracked her down and changed her memories? I could be completely wrong. I don't really remember, so correct me. I think he had to give her false. He did say that Junbei could totally be redone unlike anyone else. Yeah, I don't remember that at all. Thank you. I don't remember him saying that. You guys have a better memory than me. Um, I think it all just comes down to like we don't really understand the father's motives, and we don't really understand like everything that the father did to her. So it's kind of hard to figure out what's going on really. Yeah, I think we pretty much talked about like everything that I wrote down. So did she actually leave on her own? Because I took that as a reason he gave the others as to why she left them. I don't know. When I was reading it, I thought she left on her own, but I mean, I could be wrong. They said she escaped, but it doesn't make sense if she ended up as Cat, so maybe it was the dad's code and he set it up in order to. Yeah, I mean, I'm like thinking about it now, and I don't know if she left on her own or not. Like, I just when I was reading it, I was under the impression that she left on her own, but I could be wrong because they did reveal later on that the dad had this like big. I find it a little unbelievable that the dad thought a billion steps ahead of everyone else. Like he had literally, if you think about it, everything planned out to her not going into her own code to the hypergenesis thing. And her memories, like he suppressed her memories. He didn't want her going and figuring out everything. Like he figured out that she was going to put herself in the face of death and like literally die so that everyone could get this vaccine. But in order, because she did that, he's ended up essentially being able to like rule everyone's like gen whatever is in the world. Like it was pretty like he was able to think way too far ahead. I think if she continues writing, we will eventually know. Frustrating. Yeah, I feel like they did answer a bunch in this book, but they did leave a bunch unanswered, which is okay for like the first book of a series. I'm like, I feel like I'm totally bashing this book, and I really did enjoy it. Like when I was reading it, I did enjoy it. I'm just kind of like honing in and like hating on the things that annoyed me. But like I said, I think I changed it to like a 3.5 out of 5. As we're dissecting the book, I'm not liking it as much, but I would want to finish off the series to know what happens. Yeah, and I think that's what happened to me is like I literally was sitting here writing all this stuff down that I had issues with. And I'm thinking like, man, maybe I didn't like this book as much as I thought. Like when I first put it down, I was like, man, that was pretty darn good. I gave it a 4 out of 5. And then I started thinking about it and writing my notes, and I was like, man, I kind of hated on this book a little bit. But I enjoyed it. So I guess, I mean, it's still a good book. I mean, if I walked out of it thinking that it was even a 3.5 is essentially a good book, and I would probably still continue on with the series. But yeah, I agreed. It's a pretty solid read. I'm glad I read it. I want to read the next one. I have no idea when it's going to come out. Yeah, I mean, I'm being picky, but like it's easy to be picky. Like it's mostly the sciencey stuff for me that got me. Like I need more explanation. I think that's why like these other fantasy books that I read are so good because to me they explain things very well. Like Harry Potter, like they explain everything very well. Like all the way from how spells are made, through I don't freaking know. She explains everything. And like I like when people create good fake science. I did enjoy that most of the time Kat would save herself. Yes, but I still think there needed to be communication. Like if you're it's something to be said if you're like the main chick character and you're an awesome character. I love awesome female characters, but to me when they're too independent and like don't want help from anybody, like it irks me a bit. Like if she was the one to come up with these great ideas but still like bounce them off of other people, like I have more respect for books like that or characters like that. Like it just bugs me when a main character like refuses to communicate with others. Like, I don't know why, but it drives me nuts. And whether it's a boy or a girl, honestly, like if a main character is stubborn and they don't want to communicate, I think that's another reason why I loved Harry Potter. Is because Harry was constantly communicating with Ron and Hermione, and anytime he didn't, it would bug the poop out of me. And eventually it would come back around and they would communicate again, but communication is key no matter what you do. And like in any aspect of life, and I think like not enough authors make that a main component of their book. My rant is over. Strong tea.
You let it steep for like 15
I
minutes.
know. Yeah, is there anything else that you guys wanted to talk about? Question that is slightly off topic. Would you want to possibly read 2 books, then split the live show in half just in case someone has time to read both? I would be willing. I'm pretty sure I would be able to finish 2 books. I hope. I am going to be going back to school soon. Hate school. But I mean, it is a good idea because if someone doesn't have time or doesn't want to read the options given, then yeah, I mean it. I would be willing to. I still need to read. Wait, with Harry's very vocal. I still need to reread the Harry Potter books. Finally, you didn't read the last 3. Those are like the best ones. But yeah, like if that's something that you guys want to do, I would be down for trying to do 2 a month, so we could do like the second and final Saturday of the month. There's not always 4 Saturdays. Yeah, there is. Yeah, if you guys want to do that, like the second and fourth Saturday of the month, we could do like a live stream. I'd be down to do that. You guys just have to let me know which books. So I guess we would just pick the 2 most voted for books. How do we check the poll?
I'm working on that right now.
Probably only read one of the books, but it's something to try. Yeah, I mean, essentially all these books are books that I want to read, and I tried to be like a little diverse and give like a sci-fi and like contemporary, a fantasy, because I know like not everyone likes the same things. But yeah, I mean, because I do read quite a bit, but I also have a lot of arcs that I still need to get through. I'm like halfway through Gunslinger Girl. I have to read the Every Heart a Doorway book. And the Hazelwood. I should be able to finish. Yeah. If you guys want to read 2, like I guess we'll just pick the 2 most voted for, and then one will be the second Saturday of the month, and the other one will be the 4th or last. But he's trying to figure out how to check your guys' votes. Scythe? Did you guys vote with the little I up here? Also, wait a month or 2 if it's better for you. I'm flexible. Yeah. Supposedly there's like supposed to be like an I up here. Me. I can't point. There's an I.
Wait, I can't see the thing.
Right there, where you should be able to vote which book you most want to read. Oh god. You have to go to the top right corner with your cursor and the I will appear. Oh.
Yeah. Well, if you just cursor.
You playing? You never play. Yeah. Yeah, I'm like, I vote for The Summer That Melted Everything for one of them because I definitely want to read that book. It sounds just different. 13-year-old boy claims to be the devil himself, answering an invitation. Fielding the son of a local prosecutor. Brings some. Strange accidents start to occur, riled by the feverish heat. This one, Summer That Melted Everything.
Three-way tie.
Yeah, I'm gonna vote for this one. I don't know, it just seems really cool.
Summer.
Enchantment of Ravens. I want to read all of them. Sucks. I wish I had more time in life. I think Kivox might actually try to read one of them so that he could join. Just have to see.
What are you checking right now?
Audible. I don't know if The Summer That Melted Everything has an audiobook. Probably does, but
So, gotta pick. Two.
he should read with us.
Gotta pick.
Well, I'll give people more time. How many? There's like 5 people on the live stream. How many votes are there? Oh, did you just? What do you vote for? You're reading
I wasn't listening to what books are. I'm gonna go with the one with the Devil Kid.
the Devil Kid one.
Which
It
one's
looks
that?
like there is an audiobook
Which
to
one
it.
is that?
This one.
Hold on.
Ew.
I think I just spit into my shirt.
That's disgusting.
I just sneezed into my shirt, Meek. It's so gross. I'm sorry.
Oh my god, 2? What's 2? Is that The Summer That Melted Everything in the poll?
Yes, that's the second one.
Hi, Pentium. Pentium, vote with the little eye.
Pentium's not gonna read it though.
Why not? What does that have to do with reading books?
Well, he's not gonna read it though. Am I in the shop? How about now?
Yep. At the cat. Oh! She's like, no! So damn cute. I hear the mailman.
I mean, wrap it up.
Well, we need to talk about which book it is.
We'll decide then. Look,
Where's the poll?
here it is. So hard about this.
Alright, Pentium's gonna vote.
I already told you the results.
Oh, maybe Pentium will break the...
Watch, I guarantee he's gonna pick the fourth one that I voted for yet. Then it's gonna be a 4-way tie. Okay, this is taking too long. I think you should make a verdict. You're just sitting there doing nothing.
He said he's gonna... I don't think he's gonna vote because he'll be busy playing Monster Hunter 5 hours.
Yeah, see? We can't. That's at the end of the month, though. You got all month to read.
Alright, well...
Nick, hurry up. You're the boss. This is your stream. Hurry up.
Scythe, Summer That Melted Everything, and Enchantment of
You have the
Ravens.
books right there, right in front of you. You can just look at those. You don't have to look over here.
I feel bad, like, having to choose for you guys.
Oh my god, you're not. This is your stream.
Well, obviously,
You're the boss.
I want to do The Summer That Melted Everything. So,
Okay.
that's one of them. So if you guys want to read this one about the Devil Kid coming to Ohio, this one I'll probably make the 2nd Saturday of January. I should probably make a quick video.
Yeah, we'll make a video about it.
And then it was between Scythe and Enchantment of Ravens. I might choose an Enchantment of Ravens just because it's really short and I gotta test out this two book thing and see if I can do it. So, what do you guys think about these two?
Mick, That's what we're reading. So that's it. There's no. What do you think?
I'm gonna make this one the second Saturday of January.
So you're doing 2 separate streams. You're not doing one stream with both books.
No.
Okay.
So if someone doesn't want to read both, they're not going to get the stuff spoiled for them for the other one.
Yeah, but if you did it all in one stream, half and half. But that's fine. I don't care. I'd rather have you do it 2 separate streams.
So we'll do this one January 13th and this one January 27th, but I'll make a really quick separate video for you guys, so I better write this down for myself because I will forget.
All right, do that after. Say goodbye.
But yeah, thank you guys for joining. I really appreciate it, and I appreciate you reading along with me. It was super awesome to like be able to talk ideas and things with you guys. There is an audiobook to all of these books, so if you want to read them through audiobook, I am cool with that. I read audiobooks all the time or listen to them. I know some people are like, "Man, it's not reading, it's reading." So
it's the only way I read.
Yeah. But yeah, there are audiobooks to everything. So An Enchantment of Ravens, which is more of like a YA fantasy fairy world type book, and then this one, Summer That Melted Everything. I'll put up a video. And thank you guys for getting involved. I really appreciate it because I never have anyone to talk books with, and then I always have things I want to say, and I have no one to say things with, so it was really awesome. And I will see you next time.
You gotta close it. It doesn't just stop by itself.
How do you do it?
You gotta go down to the bottom thing. Down, no,
this
right
one.
there, Meek. And then you gotta hit stop.
Bye.